Billy Bush is on today's episode, which I think he's one of the premier journalists as far as I'm concerned. I'll talk to him about it. Do you think he'll dance? Sonny and the Black Pack, as they enter, plays Will They Dance? What do you guys think?
I think he's going to dance.
I'm going to say dance.
I say no.
You say no?
No.
Jeremy, what do you think?
I think there's a good possibility. Yeah.
But you can't.
Kyle?
You can't.
Yeah.
Oh, I think
Okay, he's coming. Let's see. Put the camera on out there.
Go. Ready?
Yeah.
Damn it! You guys know better than I do.
Dance. Will he dance? Will he dance? Will he be dancing through the door?
Billy Bush.
Will
Never underestimate.
Look at that. Whoa.
Will Billy dance?
Bushman.
Will be dancing through the door. Billy Bush,
Here he comes.
Count the style.
Here he comes.
With his smile.
That was a bet. That was a bet.
What was the best?
The bet is this song. As guests come in, that's Sonny and the Black Pack, everybody.
Yeah.
Sonny and the Black Pack plays Will He Dance? Some people choose not to move. But you got quite, you know how to cut a rug, as they say in the.
I got moves.
You do.
I got moves. I've definitely
good
got moves.
Yeah, you do. Is that what? Go ahead.
I got moves. Not everybody has moves. I'd say, how could he not dance? Is the question. I mean, Sonny, they got it.
I said no. I was the only one that said you weren't going to dance.
Why did you think he wouldn't
Jackie.
dance?
I don't know. I just didn't think. I thought that you were the one that
Not only
wasn't
did
going to
he
dance.
The one?
The one.
We've had a few not dance.
Who?
I'm the shy one that says no.
Yeah.
Jackie, not only did he dance,
No,
but he
it's okay.
also danced the best. One of
Nick,
the best.
Nick is trying to was going to turn the Proto on. This is one of the
Bullshit.
guys that works with Proto, and he doesn't realize that we started you're on the podcast. We have Billy Bush here today, and the guy named Nick from Proto who doesn't know when to leave the room. He can't.
I'd love to leave the room.
Why? What is bothering you?
You got to make it between the two cameras.
Yeah.
Let's see it.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about getting
Try.
touched here.
Will he leave? Will he leave? Okay, that's the guy from Proto. Can't
I
figure it
don't
out?
think he can.
All right, don't worry. These episodes are
You could try.
no longer than an hour. All right.
There
Just
he
enjoy
goes.
yourself. Oh, there he goes. Oh, there he goes. There goes Nick.
You did it. You did
Now
it.
dance, Nick.
Now dance, Nick. Billy Bush. I gotta say, I've known this young man, compared to me, very young man, for years now. And whenever I have done anything on television or promoted a show, it was either on Extra or Access. I always thought you were incredibly accommodating and slick and wonderful. I have to say, and we'll talk about it a little later, you do a show now on YouTube and TuneIn called Hot Mic with Billy Bush, which
Hot
is
mics, plural.
Oh,
There's
I was.
multiple mics.
Pardon me.
Multiple mics.
She's so good. She could pick
I know
something
what plural
like
means,
that.
yeah.
Only my mic is hot. The other guy.
But I have to say, and if you haven't, go to YouTube or TuneIn and check it out, because I have to say, what wasn't apparent to me watching you and working with you is how amazing a broadcaster you are. You are the consummate broadcaster, and I have to say, he's not known as you weren't known as somebody who, first of all, you're great with a teleprompter, but off the cuff, funny, informed, just and the fact that this new, and I watch it, and I don't only watch it because you do it here. I watch it because when I miss it, I'm watching it at home on YouTube. It's so informative, so funny, so entertaining. This is where I'm going to get my news. I'm telling you, you got to get your news from here. You got to get your pop culture from here.
I've watched it. Who are you telling? I've watched it.
I'm telling them, but I'm aiming at you.
I've watched it.
Yeah,
It's
as
good.
long as
I
Jackie's
agree.
watching it.
I agree, though. Can I say what I like about it?
Yeah.
I feel like it's very different than anything I've ever seen you on before, because it feels very authentic and uncensored.
It is. That's the whole reason for doing it. I finally was like, what am I doing? Like, why am I not doing and saying all the things I think? People would say, God, Bushy, why don't you, the guy that we know, why do you? I said, well, because, Extra and Access Hollywood, and it's very constricting. Access Hollywood Live, back in the day, we got a little loose. One of my favorite episodes ever, and we have to get to it, was with your father and Richard Simmons. I mean, the two of them.
Well, it's not my favorite moment, but it is one of Billy's.
It's one of my all-time favorite moments from 6 years on that show. Anyway, but just the chance to be unfiltered, the chance to just think it and say it, and be in the moment. So
I don't want to, I won't rehash a lot of what I said, but I will also tell you, if you get a chance, and everybody should have a chance, Tucker Carlson also has a YouTube show, and he did, Billy Bush did an episode of that, and I was watching it to do research for this, you know, like, what don't I know about Billy? It is, and I said this to you off camera, if you don't know anything about Billy besides who he is and what you've seen him, this is the most heartwarming, eye-opening, brilliant hours. It's more than an hour. It's an hour and 40 minutes. An hour.
lot.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. I couldn't believe at the end that it was an hour and 40 minutes.
I couldn't believe when Tucker said to me, "Wow, it's an hour and 47 minutes," and I went, "What? Holy mackerel!"
But to see a three-dimensional human being that has been put through the test of life and come out on the other side, and you deserve. I promise you, and I'm saying this, I want your show and anything you want in life to be incredibly successful and beyond your dreams, and I just have a whole new respect for you as a human being and as a professional, and I can't thank you enough for being here.
Thanks.
You got to catch it. I mean, he tells the whole story. We're not going to rehash it here, but the whole story of the hot mics. Mike. That was a mic without an S.
Yeah.
Which kind of turned your life upside down.
The great Herbie Nana said, "Life is a shit sandwich. Eat it or starve. Everyone's going to have some type of kaboom."
Not like
It could
that.
be a
Not
health crisis
publicly.
no, mine had very unique circumstances. Like, how in the world could that ever happen? It's 1 in a million, right? With Donald Trump, who goes from reality, celebrity apprentice, boardroom, almost caricature of a guy, to actual president of the United States, seriously beating out 16 people. I mean, it was unthinkable. And they had tried everything they could possibly try to take him out. And I'm talking about they, the media, and his former NBC especially. And they finally did. They finally got him. News. Not your division, Howie. I understand you.
They didn't get him. They got you out.
No. They took a shot and they got
Which
him.
I never understand why you were taken out, and you hashed that with
Yeah.
Have you since Trump was voted, or since that tape was even, have you talked to Trump?
I'm dying to know. I'd like to.
Really?
Yeah, I
You
want to.
should.
I bet you he'd come on your podcast.
We gotta get him on.
Have you reached out?
I've reached out, yes. I've reached out a few different ways. Crickets a little bit. I don't know. I'm surprised because in the day, we had more fun. I had more fun with Donald Trump than when he was the apprentice guy, because he would say anything. I mean, celebrities have publicists, and they are gatekeepers, and they do their best to, keep the guy on message or clean up after the mess. He didn't give a shit. He would say anything. He still does, but it was wild and fun. And I've been everywhere with him because I was the chief entertainment reporter for NBC, and he was the biggest star going. The Apprentice was making $100 million a year in profit. So they were like, stay on him. Stay wherever he goes. And,
There's somebody that works here that can probably get you right to him.
Chuck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you talked to him?
Well, let's go with everybody. Let's go with the people.
I think he's
The
got him
people.
on speed
No
dial.
one's more powerful than the people. And if what people want, he likes to give the people what they want. So
And he
people-
also knows that if you talk to Billy Bush,
and I know what my opening is with him, but I'm not going to tell you.
you're not going to tell me?
Why?
Because then it wouldn't be a great opening.
For you.
Yeah. My first word, right when he sits down, and there's like, okay, we all set, everything's rolling, everyone's good, we're all good. Yeah. I know what I'm going to say to him first, and I'm just waiting. Come on, Don.
I'm waiting. Are you going to
I've
be
worked as, like-
grabbing anything? Will you
No,
be?
no.
Okay.
This is the problem with someone that has their own podcast. They're going to hold all the good stuff for themselves.
No, we'll get
Just
some
that.
stuff. We'll
Just
get,
that.
We'll
Okay.
get some good stuff. But I'm going to work with you and talk. Have you talked to Chuck? Because I'm going to work with you to see if
Let's
I can
do
get
it.
you to. Because he's got to be on your show, and that's what your show is. Your show isn't. And I'm saying fluff in a positive way because I think I'm in a fluff business, and I think, show business, you've done fluff, but now you got, and on your show, you're talking to both sides, crazy honesty, crazy open mics. It is just crazy. And you talk about everything from politics to
Got
Baldoni.
Megyn Kelly to James Carville. We've had them all. I mean,
and
that's
the
the
whole
way I want it to
Baldoni
be.
thing. The Baldoni thing.
Oh, I can't get enough of Baldoni and Lively. I can't. I think it's unbelievable.
Do you?
Yes, because people, if you're going to try and snowball people, they're going to figure it out. There's nothing. You can't get away with anything.
Well, you've
these
already
days.
said something right away. You want to snowball people. Who is snowballing who?
Give them a snow job. Well, I mean, if you Blake Lively. I mean, Blake Lively thought she could, orchestrate this, basically taking this project from Baldoni. She said it herself in an interview in 2022. She said, I like to audition, and then I really get my creative hands on things once I get into a project. That's not why they hire me, but once I get there, that's it. I really want to put my hands on everything, which is great. But if the director's the director, she really liked this project, and she took it over. She got the cast to unfollow Baldoni, and they all turned on him until the fact that the guy turned around and drops a giant lawsuit on her and puts his foot down and says, no way, I've documented everything. Look what she did to me.
How do you get out of that?
It's all here. And that is just blown up in her face and her husband's, and I don't see it turning around for them.
Do you think it's mostly Blake Lively, or do you think Ryan Reynolds had a huge hand in this?
He's got a huge hand in it. There's no question.
So,
Yeah.
well, here's what I don't know what's going on, but I was also listening to you again. I'm plugging the hell out of your show because that's where I'm getting my information. Is you're friends with Friedman,
Brian Friedman.
who is the defense attorney for Baldoni, or maybe I don't know if that's a defense as much as now he's going after him. So it's not a defense. It's
Right. He's got a countersuit. He's got a $250 million lawsuit against the New York Times and a $400 million lawsuit on Blake Lively. But I always wonder when people are accused of something and it's horrible, like a sexual harassment or something untoward like that. If you don't turn around and countersue with everything you got, I don't get that.
I saw him
It
saying.
implies guilt to me.
I saw him saying on your show. You asked him, "What does Baldoni want? What does he want?" Because he's going after a lot of money, and he said he didn't care about the money at all. He wants, kind of a mea culpa. He wants her to say,
He wants vindication.
"Don't say it's not true." You're never going to get that.
This guy was second on the call sheet, at Jane the Virgin, okay? And he finds this incredible project, this book by Colleen Hoover, and he buys the rights, convinces Colleen, who's looking at it with several other people, to direct and develop the material into a movie. He gets the rights because Colleen sees this man bun wearing male feminist, and she's like, he gets it. And he sells this incredible letter. You can read the letter he wrote to her and how detailed and how clear much he knew the project. And she sold it to him. And he's had it since 2019. It's 2025 now. This guy poured everything into this. And he did a hell of a job. Made $350 million on a $25 million budget.
Well, he's got this company with his partner called Wayfair. Is that the name of the company?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was developing this project, and in order to do a project, he had to make money. He had to raise money. I don't know what the budget. What was the budget?
$25 million.
25. And he finally got Columbia to put up I think it was the last 5. He was 5 million short or 10 million short. He got Columbia to put up the last amount of money, and they did, because I've done this even in television, where they said, "We'll give you the money, but it's cast contingent, which means we're not going to invest in it unless we feel like we have some legitimate box office." They suggested Blake Lively and negotiated with Blake and got Blake on board. Is that correct?
Yeah, she was great in the movie. I think she was.
The movie is great.
Yeah, she's terrific in it, Blake Lively.
So is he.
I have a theory. I have an idea.
Okay, go ahead.
In the next movie, Colleen Hoover's book, It Starts With Us. This is now, which is her second, but this is now focusing on the relationship with the old guy. Now she and the ex, played by Baldoni, hate each other. They really don't like each other. They've got an 11-month-old child together, but she's demanding he get anger management. They really are at odds. Well, what a more believable thing. Why not show what a big guy you are, settle the whole thing, then recast her in the movie again and take the high road? They make another movie $700 million instead of $300. What do you think? I say,
On paper, yes.
Do it.
In real life, it'll never happen.
I
Never.
thought Justin, before all this, said that he was going, before the lawsuit, the countersuit, said that he was going to give up the rights to the movie to Blake, and he just wanted to walk away. I wonder if that's
isn't
still
that
the
amazing?
case.
Yeah, it was on the day that it was released. They said, hey, if it goes great, you can direct the next movie. He goes, yeah, maybe Blake should do that.
But didn't you think that was kind of tongue-in-cheek, kind of
Well,
snark?
this guy's a proven director, okay?
He did a really good job. He did a really good
And
job.
Sony will probably go with him on his next project. That's a big profit he made for them. So they're just the distributor and an investor. Sony's not the studio. It's all Wayfair.
Right. Here's my take on what happened. I don't fault Ryan at all. I think that we're in a business of egos, and I think that Blake, and I kind of fault myself personally throughout the years. I did movies, not ones that are that memorable most of the time, and well, you don't have to agree.
I remember.
Go
I
ahead.
loved you in Insert.
Okay. But I was like an effing dish rag. You know what I mean? I go, it's your set. It was so far as a comedian, where I had autonomy and I could control every piece of material that went out, and I got an immediate reaction. All of a sudden, I'm on a set waiting in a trailer, and the guy comes out and says, "Okay, do these 3 lines, face this way, now go back to your trailer for 2 hours, come back out and do the same 3 lines from another angle." That's why, and we'll talk about the Oscars in a minute. I don't think acting is that amazing. I'm sorry.
No.
I don't. It's pretending, and it's a director and writer's milieu. It's not even, they can make something shitty look really good, and they can make something really good look shitty. So my point is that I realized that I probably didn't have an illustrious movie career because I didn't take control. Because I know my instinct told me this is not good, or this is ridiculous,
Yeah.
or this is not. I work in front of an audience all the time. I would imagine Blake being around Ryan, who I think is a really smart creator of content and scripts and movies and promotion. She wanted to, I think, as she said very proudly in that interview that you just regaled us with, where she said, I'll take the job as the actress, but then I'm going to take control. Because you can't on an audition or on a meeting going, it's going to be whatever I say or not.
But you gotta respect the guy that bought the rights and is the director. You can't say, okay, man bun guy, you're not a big deal. We're big deals here. You just follow us. Don't worry. I'll take care of this. I'll do my own edit on this. We're gonna probably do this. I need you to send me the dailies. Can you send me the dailies? You're an actor on the film. You don't get to go through the dailies. You don't get to have your own edit. You don't get to. That's chaos.
Unless you're Mrs. Ryan Reynolds and you are the last cog in the wheel that got the last $5 million to give this a go. Otherwise, that film wouldn't go. So now.
And your best friend is Taylor Swift, and you negotiate. I'm going to get Taylor to make a song on the thing. She leveraged all. Listen.
She leveraged, which some people may say is a really smart business move, right? Right?
Sure, except for now you're not friends with Taylor Swift anymore.
Well, because we're talking, let's go back to before there's any, so she's leveraged Taylor Swift, she's leveraged the fact of who she's married to, and she knows good storytelling. I think that Ryan Reynolds is a really good storyteller. She looks at this, did you see the movie?
Yes.
Okay, so that's a pivotal scene in on the rooftop when they meet. No spoilers to anybody that's watching, but that's a pivotal scene. She decides that she's got some ideas. And she says to her husband at home, I got some ideas. He goes, honey, just write down what your ideas and give it to him. She wrote down her ideas the night before they're going to tape.
During the writer's strike, Ryan Reynolds wrote the scene.
You're saying that, but she says she did. But I don't disagree with you. But she is selling the fact that she wrote the script, that she wrote it, okay? or she had an idea.
She
or
later
even-
admitted it was him.
Not totally.
Yes.
Yeah, she did.
Every word?
She did.
Yeah, she
Every
did.
word?
She said that was Ryan saying my husband did it. Oh my God, it's so great.
Okay.
In an interview,
In an interview.
not in the text messages.
Yeah.
She was saying it was hers.
Okay, so she sends him these 4 or 5 pages the night before. You have a 4 or 5 page. You got to know, in the movie business, 4 or 5 pages is a whole, if not more than one whole day's work. That's like 20 different setup. There's 200 people. There's angles that they got to get. It's got to be lit. There's grips. It's 200 people. It's going to take a whole 12 hours, maybe even 2 days to do 4 pages. She sends it to him 12 hours before they are going to shoot this. I don't know, because I didn't see the difference between the old pages and the, but it's different. He doesn't really answer warmly, or he says something to the fact, which we saw, well, we'll do a little bit of what you said, and, a lot of... And
Ultimately, and then in the end, it'll be my call, because I am what's called the director.
and the writer.
And the writer.
He wrote
and this is my project, Blake.
He
Right.
didn't even say it that way. He said it very kindly from what I heard. He said, like, I love this. This is great. And we'll talk about maybe including some of your stuff.
He was incredibly
about it-
gracious along the way.
Yeah.
But
He was.
She didn't accept that. She was very bowled over that it was anything less than, oh my God, you nailed it. Mine was garbage. This is exactly what we're going to do. Because it wasn't that, he found out that she was upset, which led to that 2 a.m. message, which he took full responsibility for. He goes, listen, it's on me. I probably didn't respect the fact that I'm lucky enough to have Blake on board.
The
You heard-
groveling. This is what. Oh, this is a vomitous 7-minute voicemail. I'm so sorry I didn't listen more to you and those wonderful friends you have, and Taylor, and then of course your husband. They're so genius. I'm so grateful that you could bring this to me. Oh,
But that's
come on, Tony.
Right, but I don't think Ryan has anything, as a guy who's been married for 45 years, if my wife is telling me about something that's going on at work and she wants my help and my input, I only say okay. I only say okay.
Yeah.
So
My voicemail would be a lot
Smart.
shorter.
What?
My voicemail would have been a lot shorter. We said, hey, listen, Blake. By the way, hey, Blake, loved meeting Taylor Swift. That was wild. Never got to see her. She's totally cool. And your husband, what a beautiful apartment you have. God, you guys have made a lot of money. It's a very beautiful apartment. Listen, given your ideas on the thing, I'm definitely listening to everything. We'll see what we can do about it. But in the end, I'm the director and you're the actor, and I'll see you at work tomorrow at 9. Don't be late.
yeah, but that's pretend, because you know that
I would
Blake.
have lost my courage. You don't think I would have had the courage to do it?
No, I believe you would have done that, and I believe that Blake wouldn't have showed up the next day.
That's true.
I
No, she-
believe
she had- yeah.
When you are
A lot of threats.
I understand it, because I have a lot of friends who make movies, and so do you, and do television shows. And when you have the weight of a $6 million to $10 million, $25 million production on your shoulder, your company is producing it, you're directing it. The last thing you need is the studio to get a call from your star, who they finance, to
True.
say, I'm not fucking working with him anymore. And that's what would have happened. And I thought that he balanced that really well the whole time and got to the end of the movie. And I
Gave
can't-
up his credit too, everything.
His
She
credit and his
She
picture.
said, "Remove a film by Justin Baldoni. Get rid of a film by."
He's not on
I
the poster.
collaborated too. That shouldn't be in there. He took his drawers down on, and not literally, in every possible way to accommodate her.
She asked to go into the edit bay, which I get, as an actor. I wish I would have been involved in the cutting of Walk Like a Man. That's it. That was my
You
movie.
think it would have been
loved it
better
the way
if
it
you were?
was.
You did?
I loved it the way it was.
Yeah?
All right, then. How about Gas? Did you see my movie Gas?
Oh. Loved.
That's what people said. No, they didn't have
you
to
look
love.
at-
They just went, ugh. Ugh was my review for Gas. You know what Gas was?
It gave me.
You know who wrote Gas? I see where you're going there. It was a fart joke. You know who wrote Gas? Richard Wolff. Dick Wolf.
Dick Wolf
It's
wrote Gas?
It's his first project that he ever wrote was Gas. And it was me,
Well,
Donald
you both
Sutherland.
went on to great things, so let's not worry
He went
about
on to
it.
great stuff.
Big
I'm-
series for him and Howie.
I did some stuff.
A lot of things.
Yeah, but the point.
Podcast with his daughter.
A podcast, by the way, probably his greatest thing.
This is my greatest thing.
Thank you.
This is a
I tell you
production
that
and
all the time,
reproduction
yeah.
right here in the same room.
Most meaningful thing too.
It is. Are you going to work with your kids? Are they old enough?
Someday, I'd love to.
They're young.
My oldest daughter's maybe, she might be into it. They're young. Not that young. I've got 26, 24,
Oh.
20.
There's a production partner
Yeah,
right
we
there.
had. I was married very, very early, Howie.
So was I. He grew up.
Was everything planned? Were you planned out, or did things just sort of happen because you were?
This?
Yeah.
I was planned. My sister
The
was a
third
happy
wasn't.
accident.
The third one wasn't. I think
None of mine were planned. They were just all
Really?
whoops and whoops. Yeah.
Whoops, whoops, and whoops.
You
Three?
need to work on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just said, okay, it's
Your
time to
pull-out game's
vasectomize
weak.
here.
Yeah.
This is not.
Are
this
you?
is
Do you
obviously
have a
working
vasectomy?
every time.
You have a vasectomy?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Does that hurt?
It's not supposed to. They say 3% could go wrong. I was one of the 3%. I was in agony. It was a terrible.
It went wrong?
The guy gave me local anesthesia, so mentally I'm watching everything. I'm there.
Local meaning
I'm
Sherman
like, oh,
Oaks.
careful with that. I'm too alert. You need to be Valiumed up, and you need to be out for something like that. You cannot be involved. I'm like Blake Lively with this project. When he's doing this, I'm going, no, you don't want to do that. Bad edit. Don't do it. And that made for tension everywhere. Right?
Right. Did they go with your cut or his?
They went with his. And it took me 3 weeks of, 2.5 weeks of.
So let's finish with this Blake Lively conversation. The Blake Lively conversation is, so she goes into the cutting room and she starts making edits that are different than his. And then she holds that up to, that's the movie that gets released. It's her cut. But if I understand, his cut in the tested better. Is that true?
Yes, and the editors that worked with him said, we have great evidence, and he documented it, that much of his stuff was put back in.
To her cut.
Back into her cut to make her cut better so she could say, now everybody wins. The better version is there, and Blake can say that she is the creative force behind it.
So
much ego stroking
is there a
in this
way?
business.
Is there a way out? Is there a way out for her?
I believe that if you apologize for your wrongdoings in life, at this point it's going to be awkward apology, but it's still the best route. To own your stuff, to just say, I'm an imperfect and flawed person, I'm a mean girl in this situation, I did terrible, I did this, I did, I overplayed it, and I don't know why. Maybe because my husband is a giant success and my best friend Taylor Swift is like the most creative boss lady there is in the world, and I see myself more as a Reese Witherspoon, someone who can opt any material, any book, and turn it into a massive series. And I started here with your property, and I shouldn't have.
I also saw in your show, you talked about this has been damaging to Ryan Reynolds. Did he lose the capability of being the face? You said that on your show of Mint.
He's not on their promotional stuff.
And do you think that's directly related to this?
He was the Mint Mobile guy, but he has 25% of the company. So if you're selling it to T-Mobile for $1.35 billion, you can see what he made.
I understand that he made money, but do you think that they took his face off because they thought it was? You think that's directly?
Yeah, I mean they've hired this ex-CIA deputy chief of staff, Nick Shapiro guy, to be their PR person, and I'm already seeing all kinds of comments wiped from Instagram. The public has been. You can't get a. Here's the thing: you cannot get past. People are too darn smart. So if you try to fool people. I'm talking about moms on TikTok.
Internet sleuths.
Internet sleuths. Girl.
She came this close to finding Pilates.
Gabby.
Pilates.
Yeah.
Killer.
Gabby Pilates?
No, Petito.
Gabby Petito.
Petito. I
She's
did find
an
her killer.
internet sleuth.
I found
She's
her
an
killer.
internet. But you're saying you can't fool people.
You can't. People are they're gonna find everything. You got metadata. You got all these things. You can look at a photo and see when it was uploaded, and you can test it against the time. I mean, there's just no way. Cell phones, changed everything. The internet and TikTok has changed it even more. You're not gonna get away with it, whatever it is.
And you're right, except to the fact, this is what blew me away. When she first came out with all this, I went, what an asshole he is, you know? And
Everyone did.
As a daddy girl, you know, a girl daddy, I thought, oh my God.
Girl dad. Girl dad.
I don't know what I am.
As long as you didn't say big.
Does it?
As long as it's not Big Daddy, I'm okay. Just
As a father with a vagina. I think I have a vagina.
that I didn't expect.
Okay. Well, I'm full with surprises.
He's got everything, including one of those.
I was really angry. And then as he started releasing receipts, you know, all this stuff, I went, oh my God, this is crazy.
Yeah.
You know, and I think the tide has totally shifted.
Do you think
Completely.
he wouldn't have said anything or done anything if the New York Times article never came out? If there wasn't.
I think that's right. I think, you know, Blake was threatening, you know, months before the New York Times thing happened. She was constantly threatening different things. At one point she's threatening, I'm not going to promote this movie if I don't get my way on this. I will go to my friends at the New York Times. I will do these. She has a relationship with this writer, Megan Twohey, and the team behind this whole article. The metadata shows that they were working on it months before it actually came out. They took this civil complaint and they basically just printed all of Blake's stuff, the New York Times. The fact it hit Baldoni, like what? The fact that he hired Brian Friedman, that he had recorded everything. Jamie Heath, he and his producing partner were so smart. When they saw this thing going south in the summertime, they began to record all the texts, the emails, saving them, putting them in a file, which made it very easy for Brian Friedman to put out 170 pages of every interaction. Sadly, she puts out this big thing in the New York Times that slams Baldoni, and Baldoni has backup receipts to show exactly each interaction, what actually happened, and it just kaboomed in her face. And then all of a sudden, and the whole cast, by the way, went with her. That guy, Brandon Sklenar, who plays this, who's like the second leading guy in it after Baldoni, he puts out a link to that article and says, you've got to read this, and we've got to stand by women, and it's important to do this. A movie is a correction for men, and, you know, men feeling badly about ourselves, we shouldn't do. And then all of a sudden, oh God, he's got documentation on every one of these interactions, and it's not the way she said. And it kaboomed.
Well, except that I saw a clip on your show yesterday, the one that aired yesterday, where he was at the Vanity Fair party, and he was asked, as you said smartly, like, why are you even out, and why are you talking to the press?
He's working with Taylor Sheridan right now on 1923. He's part of this movie. He is the star of the second book, It Starts With Us, by Colleen Hoover. That's now the love story between Blake Lively and this guy, Brandon Sklenar. He's a great-looking guy, super handsome.
But I think he avoided the question. Yeah, I don't think you thought he did, but I think he avoided the question.
He should avoid the microphone. Be off it right now. I know
I agree.
Don't be talking, because that's what people want to know.
I don't think people think. And especially people in
But
our...
you think that Blake Lively should talk and apologize? Don't you think that if
I think
he
anybody-
shouldn't talk, then she should avoid the microphone too? Like, everyone just avoid press right now and let it play out, not in the public, but in the legal system?
It needs to play out in the public because, according to what Brian Friedman said on your show, he's not going to stop for anything less than a total 180-degree admission from her that it didn't happen. So how do you do that?
It didn't have to be this way. They made it this way. This is, you know, Justin Baldoni gave up so much along the way to have his movie made. And it got made, and he gave up his credit, and he gave up, you know, wrote a letter to the PGA, and we need to get official, you know, PGA producer credit for Blake, not just a titular, you know, decorative title. She was very instrumental. He did all the things she wanted to do, and she just wanted more and more and more, and it just kept becoming an example of powerful people beating down the little guy and saying, no, we'll do what we want because we're more powerful than you. And he finally had enough, and he countersued, and they pushed him one little inch too far. And now he's every right to go back and
But he lost everything.
it out.
He lost. Is he getting any? I wonder.
William
if
Morris fired him, and he's lost a lot of projects, according to Brian Friedman. But what's Brian going to say? I mean, I love Brian, but he's not going to be like, no.
Was Brian your attorney with NBC?
I wish. I'd be a much wealthier man sitting here. I'd be doing the podcast for fun if Brian Friedman was my lawyer.
Well, you're not having any fun doing
I'm
your
having
podcast?
it. No, I mean, of
No,
course.
you're having a ton
Wonderful
of fun.
time.
You're having a wonderful time. It's a wonderful.
Friedman he makes people, he scares people.
Yeah,
He's good.
Well, I know that, and I have friends.
And by the
that
way,
have, yeah.
he has no political preference. I mean, he's represented Tucker Carlson, Chris Cuomo, two guys that, on either side, and Christopher Harrison. And
Were you ever interested in politics? You're a Bush.
I went to Colby College. I was an international studies and government major.
And a lacrosse.
And a lacrosse
That's my
player.
lacrosse playing.
That's
The national sport of Canada, people.
No, that's why I know it. I know
it?
You know how
Is
you
it-
say lacrosse in English? Cross. Lacrosse
Is it big
French.
in Canada?
Yeah, I
Oh,
played it.
I didn't know that.
I didn't play it to his level, but you won a scholarship at lacrosse?
No, I got into Colby College, which is, academically I was not fit for, but I was good at it. At lacrosse, and I played 4 years there in college, and yeah.
And he got me into. I did a Swifty run at SoulCycle because of him. You brought me to SoulCycle.
We had a very fun time. Back in the day, I said, I
Are
would
you
like
a
to try.
Swiftie?
Oh, we went to a Taylor Swift ride. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
all Taylor Swift.
All Taylor Swift. You had to put on red lipstick and sit on the bike and
That's
sweat
not
with strangers.
bright red
Is it just
lipstick.
you two?
Yes. No, it was a class of like.
Howie
thought it
was
was like a
dying in the
private-
hallway in Brentwood. All
Yes.
the Brentwood moms came out and they were like, "Oh, Howie!" It said, "Don't touch him."
Me and Billy. I never went back. It's terrible
Why?
because it wasn't the good.
You guys
I've
should
had
do
a
it
couple
again.
of landmark moments with Billy. He hinted at one of them earlier in the podcast.
Oh, my God.
With Richard Simmons.
Before you move on,
Why? Oh,
before you move on though, can I just
This is
suggest that you guys start another podcast at like a Soul Cycle where you two just ride together and talk?
no. I don't know that we went. Well, I just got that
No.
from YouTube.
Howie was, what is it?
If you got a YouTube plaque, I'm at 100,000.
Oh, that's amazing.
Thank you.
That's what they do?
Thank you. I guess what that's just happened right now.
Can I do him,
No,
please?
not Billy.
Here, I'll put it back for you.
Bonnie Blue.
I'll put it back for you.
Oh, thank you.
You just do your thing.
Okay.
So listen, Jackie, your father has one of the great episodes of Access Hollywood Live back in the day.
Great is subjective.
No, this is unbelievable. Richard Simmons is a guest on Howie, Richard, both.
Do you know
there.
Richard Simmons?
Yes, of course.
Richard Simmons, and how for some reason you were getting into Richard. You were batting him around a little bit. You said to Richard, Richard, what's going on with the shorts? You're still doing the shorts and the whole thing. And
It was before I became a judge on AGT, and I was gearing up
You
to be a
wanted to
judge.
judge.
So I was judging.
Yeah.
He was judging Richard for the little dolphin shorts and the whole thing. And Richard, one thing after the next, and Richard finally goes, I cannot take this anymore. I'm out. And he gets up and he walks off the set.
Because of you?
Oh yeah. He walks off the set. We're live. And I said, well, we just lost Richard. I said, Howie, what have you done? Look what you've done to Richard. This is incredible. I said, we're going to take a break here, and we're going to come back in just a minute, and we're going to work this out. Richard is terribly upset with Howie, and we'll be right back. So we're in commercial. I said to the cameraman, all right, give me the long cord. Take me into the hallway. I go down. Richard is in the wardrobe closet, down the hallway, out of the studio, into a closet. He's got the closet door shut. So Richard Simmons is literally
Locked in the closet.
in the closet.
You put him back in the closet.
He's in the closet. Howie's on the set like just a proud pup. Like, I don't know. What did I do? I didn't do anything. It's not my fault.
Were you proud?
No, I felt bad because he was crying.
Well,
Was he
Richard-
really? You're such an asshole.
He was crying. So I go back. I said, okay, we ready? And it's a live show. It's a 3, 2, 1, and we're back. Folks, welcome back to Access Hollywood Live. If you're just joining us, you'll see Howie Mandel is on the set. We have Richard Simmons is behind this closet door. He's in the closet. He will not come out. He's very upset at Howie. Howie has upset him. And Richard, you have to, I'm not coming out. Richard, you have to come out. There are people who are struggling with their weight, and they need to be uplifted by you. You are the little
This is before Ozempic. They had nothing but Richard.
But Richard.
Richard is all. Come out, Richard. I'm not coming out. Richard, you've got to come out. He won't. I said, all right, this is going to go bad. We have to. So I put my lips right up against the edge of the door. Sunshine on my shoulder makes me happy. And he goes, sunshine on my shoulder makes me
Is there a
cry.
clip of
Yes.
I have to see this.
Is this a clip?
We have
We
it.
should go
It's
put it in.
unbelievable.
Look
And
for
then
Howie Mandel, Richard Simmons on Access Hollywood.
Slowly the door just shh. And there he is. And I said, now, let's come out. I think Howie has something he wants to say to you. We walk back out. He's looking at Howie. And Howie, very lovely, Howie says, Richard, I'm very sorry for having hurt your feelings. It's not what I intended to do. And we had a beautiful wrap up right there. But Richard came out of the closet to
So
see
what
Howie.
you're saying is Blake Lively can
Yes.
end this thing.
There's a way to resolve everything.
Speaking of dolphin shorts, where are you? I want to show you this. These are man-made underpants.
Speaking of Canadian stuff.
This is Canadian. I would imagine
Like
you're
lacrosse.
a medium. Look at this.
I'm
How do you know?
What? Oh,
Ask him.
I'm just judging.
I'm gonna reserve what I was thinking, but I'm not gonna.
No, I mean
Let's see.
these are. Feel
Are they
them.
forgiving?
What? Aren't those amazing? Feel them.
You weren't joking when I said
No.
there's a mannequin of Howie in the hallway, and I said, but it's in dolphin shorts, and here we are.
I said I
it's
give
all
them to my
coming full
guests.
circle.
So what's when you touch those underwear? What's the first thing that comes to mind? Just touching them.
Look at the profile. I mean, they're assuming.
It starts with excitement.
I feel like it's a
Is that
ski
how you
mask.
is that how
I
you
feel
touch-
like it's a ski mask, and you put it on sideways.
For who's the guy that won last night for the movie?
I don't know.
Who's the guy that won last night? Who won Best Actor?
Adrian Brody,
That looks like it was a face mask for Adrian Brody. Did you see that?
give me all your money.
No, there's nothing softer than that. It's moisture
Wow.
wicking. I saw these guys on Instagram. You got to wear them, and if you like them, I'll give you more. I'm just trying to spread the Canadian word on. We're
Good name.
In people's
Man-made.
pants.
man-made. I'm wearing man-made underpants.
Yeah.
And look at even the way they did the fly thing. Look at the fly thing. Look at the pocket.
It's not a fly.
What would he call it? What do
Oh,
you
I
call
looked
the
at
spot?
it.
What do you call it? It's like a down. It's a downdraft. You open like a curtain. Like it's
Okay.
not to the side. I don't like to the side. I
Like a
don't.
kangaroo
Pouch.
pouch.
What?
Pouch.
Like a kangaroo
It's a
pouch.
kangaroo pouch. So you look for your baby kangaroo or full-grown kangaroo. That depends on you.
Jackie, stop him.
I try all the time.
No, that's
it doesn't
they're a
work.
sponsor too.
Listen, I want to thank you for my underwear.
Yeah,
Of
I
all the
don't-
things I expected to get. in
I
here.
don't have LA Golf, and I don't have YouTube. I got an underpants company. So
Hot
that's-
Mike's brought to you by LA Golf.
Yeah, LA
Remember
Golf.
that.
They're great, and you're a big golfer.
Big golfer.
Yeah, are you good?
Very good.
You are?
Yes.
I know nothing. I can't. I've been thrown off of golf courses. I don't have patience. Is probably the best.
It's not a sport for you.
No.
I love it. It's 4 hours of but I walk. I don't take golf carts like people. You know, people take the golf cart. That's not. To me, that's not it.
That if your husband or your significant other plays golf, they're probably cheating on you.
Is that true, Billy?
That's what I heard.
Well, it would
don't know,
be
I
a
don't
good.
golf.
It would be a good time to, if you're
'Cause
gonna
it's
have.
Because I always see the
long.
If
couple
you're gonna have a
times-
rendezvous, you say, "Honey, I got to." Well, you got because you got 4 hours of golf minimum. Then you got the cocktail after, but you got to hit the range.
What about the
before.
snack
You're
girl in the
buying-
middle?
Well, that's a 6-hour minimum.
Yeah, that's what I was
But
saying.
there's they give you like at a lot of golf courses, but I've been taken. There's like a hot waitress or that comes out on a cart to give you refreshments, and then you'll notice that at the next hole you can wash your balls.
Okay, but that's not what I was saying. I was saying it's a good excuse to go meet up.
You ever noticed
I know.
there's never a cart boy?
I did notice. I
Why?
did
Only
notice.
a cart girl.
Why?
Really?
I think my ex was actually a cart boy. I do.
And
But he
At a golf-
identified as a cart girl.
No.
it's
Yes.
like a
No.
male cheerleader.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But that's
Not a lot of them.
And you go to you don't have to give it away here, but you're part of an exclusive. You go to an exclusive club.
I belong to a nice.
I know
golf
you
club,
do.
yeah.
You do. You're a Bush. You're a.
No,
So I was
you gotta. If you love golf, you gotta take some of the shekels you worked hard for and join a golf club.
You come from a very accomplished family. The whole family. His brother created one of the best or biggest and most successful health care company, Athena, right?
Claims processing, yeah. So when you go to the doctor's office, at the bottom of the clipboard, you'll see, Athena Health. It's a very big company. Started with he and two buddies when they were in business school. Started in his basement. It grew to like 6,000 employees or something. He sold it for $7 billion. But then 3 years later, they sold it for $17 billion. Isn't that impressive?
Do you have other siblings?
Just him.
Just him?
Yeah.
Who's the favorite?
For my parents, you mean?
No, just for you.
Who's the favorite? I honestly, I don't think there is one, but
That's great parenting.
maybe me for dad and
That's
my
great
brother for
parenting.
mom.
That's great parenting. Did you? Were you?
I'm the favorite, right, Dad?
Anyway,
It's always rotating for me. I want to keep people working. Don't get comfortable. Right
no.
now, you're winning, but we'll see what happens tomorrow.
in this room.
In this room.
Yeah.
Yes. Were you close with your cousin and your uncle? When
Yeah, I would say, yeah, my uncle, George H.W. Bush, President 41. A lot of people that George W. is my uncle because he's
your cousin.
25 years older, but he's my cousin because we just have so many of us. He's the oldest and I'm the youngest of 16. So W, I saw him this past summer. It was actually the day that Trump got shot in Butler, Pennsylvania in the ear. I had just left George W. We had a barbecue. He was hosting everybody for a barbecue. He was funny. I caught him sticking his finger in the cake and just licking, like a little kid, licking the icing. And I just went, saw that, across the room, and he was like, oh, man, shit.
do great impressions.
Catch me. And he goes, and then 2 hours later, I sent him a text, and I'm like, holy crap, can you believe it, Trump? We were just talking about Trump. Because
And did he make the same sound?
the man lives rent-free in our brains, so we're always talking about him.
I wanted to ask you, did you ever ask him what, at the inauguration, there's like a clip now of him making Obama laugh.
Oh, and he slaps him in the belly?
What was he saying that was making him laugh? Did you ever ask him that? Because there's a bunch of clips with people trying to lip read what he was saying and what was happening.
No, I
No?
did text him at the Carter funeral, at Jimmy
Yeah.
Carter's funeral, when he slapped Obama in the belly. He walked by and he goes, hey, man, just give him a little. He's so fratty, right? Just a little backhand slap. I said, I love that. And he said, man, I couldn't reach Trump, but I was trying to give him one. He's just fun. He's so memeable. He's like the most memeable, everything he does now turns into a meme.
But he seems like just a good guy.
He's a great guy. He's got a great sense of humor. I think he learned that from his old man too. Was just became great friends with Bill Clinton, and George W. is great friends with
I got to meet
Obama
him.
and especially Michelle. And there's no point to not be friendly. And
I got to hang with his dad a little bit when I did a show where they brought back the troops from Desert Storm.
yeah,
And I went and did a show and got to hang with him a little. His dad, who was also a great man.
Yeah.
Just a great.
Didn't you also go visit him in the White House and stole a bunch of shit?
That was Clinton. I
Oh,
did, and I got
yeah.
in trouble.
what'd you get?
Well, I assumed that if they had the crest on it, I thought it was like Howard Johnson's. Like if you put
Like
if
a
it
private
says
favor?
the crest, they want you to
But
take
you're not
it.
even a
private
citizen.
favor.
You were a Canadian.
Maybe that's why they stopped me and they emptied
I'm gonna
out my
put a
pockets.
tariff on that right now. I want you to give me.
I got in trouble, but they invited me. I got an invite to the White House when Clinton was there, and they were doing a dinner for the Canadians. They had the Prime Minister of Canada at the time coming to dinner, and they wanted well-known Canadians to show up there. And I got an invite to the White House. I'd never got an invite before, and I RSVP'd. And I called. I almost got the invitation taken away. I RSVP'd, and I said, "Hi, it's Howie Mandel. I just got this invite. We'll show up, my wife and I. It'll be 2 of us. What should we bring? And she said, well, no, you don't need to bring anything. I said, you don't come empty-handed at somebody's house. She makes a fruit salad that is just to die for. She goes, please don't. You don't have to
don't bring
You got fruit salad. All right. Do you want potato salad or dessert or brisket or something? We could do that. And she goes, sir, there is no need. We just want to know you're attending. I go, I don't care what you say, lady, and I don't know who brought you up.
I'm bringing a nosh.
I'm bringing a nosh. And she said,
Canadians are very polite like that.
sorry. We
Yeah.
say sorry for everything. But I got to tell you, buddy, you are truly a gem. You really are. And I love you, and I wish you nothing but success. After watching the Tucker Carlson interview with you, I ended up feeling worse. Did I not do the Tucker Carlson interview? I'm watching your Steve Golan. I'm all over the place, but it doesn't matter. Your people, your team is right there. There's Rob Silverstein, your best friend who's been there.
Steve.
Yeah, there he is. And Steve, who's your producer of your show, Rob Silverstein, is the guy that had the tape. Anyway, but you're friends with him again. That's a great story.
Oh, yeah.
You gave him a watch. You
Rob
took a
and
watch.
I,
You gave
now
the
we're
watch
very
back.
close.
Were you not friends?
For
No,
a
I
couple
didn't
of
talk to
years.
Rob for a year and a half.
But he is the king of forgiveness. Everybody he forgave, except Andy Lack.
Except the chairman of NBC News, who's no longer there, Andy Lack. As I said to Tucker Carlson, I've buried hatchets with everyone. I'm friends with everyone. I forgive everyone. I forgive myself. Others forgive me. We all forgive. We move forward. Except when I like to hold just a little negative energy for the former chairman of NBC News, Andy Lack, because he's a real piece of shit.
What makes
Don't
him
mince words.
Wait, what makes him? Should I not?
No,
ask?
go ahead. You can
Okay.
ask. He's not
What
at
makes
NBC
him-
anymore. I'm at NBC. It's okay. He's not. You could talk about anybody that's
I'm
not
asking
at
for
NBC.
you.
What?
Do you not want me to talk about it?
About what?
Because you're at NBC. About.
Andy isn't.
Okay.
But this
What
was
makes
NBC.
him-
They're different divisions. They're very different
Yeah, I'm not in the
divisions.
news.
What made him different than everyone else that you decided to forgive?
He's a piece of shit.
No,
Well,
but I want to know. But
When the head of MSNBC at the time said, "Hey, what are you going to do about Billy Bush? This isn't really about him. This is about the Trump and the whole thing. It's are you going to protect him like he tried to protect Brian Williams when Brian Williams made up a few things and ultimately got suspended." And his line and he said to the president of MSNBC at the time, "Fuck Billy Bush. Who cares? Like it doesn't matter." And I'm like, "'Cause I'm a person." So, to that, you're just not going to get a forgiveness from me. I can't.
And the lesson I learned from watching the interview, where I was going with this, was he's somebody that I admired that was going through a really tough time. And if I took a message away from this, he's forgiven people, and he talked about the calls that he got from people. And I felt incredibly guilty and sad at the end that I never called you, and when that happened to you, when you lost everything. And
you're a fair weather friend.
but now he's doing good again, and he's got a great show. Not only do I talk to him, but I bug you to be on this.
No, my takeaway was
Give you underpants.
everyone's going through something at some point, always reach out. We always have that thing, like say if somebody has cancer or something, you're like, oh my God, do I say anything? I don't want to say anything. I don't want to upset them. I don't want to say anything. Say something. They're thinking about it all the time too, and it's just weird to not. And whatever it is that someone's going in, if you have a question in your mind, always say something. They'll appreciate it, I'm sure.
That's great. Do you have a song, Sonny, for Billy?
Yeah, I got a theme song for him. Let's go.
Okay, this is first of all, I want to thank you for coming. I want people to subscribe, and I want you to comment, and I want you to watch. We'll put a link to Bill.
Hot Mics with Billy Bush on
put
YouTube, baby.
We'll put a link to that.
It's live on what days?
And now,
Mondays, Wednesdays, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific.
and then also Retro Kids. We should also put a link to this. The new Bobby's World merch is out and available everywhere. And this is Sonny in the Black Pack. We always have him write a song that is. You should put on your headset so you can hear it.
Oh, yeah.
Like they're not right out there.
What?
I love Sonny. He's a beautiful.
He is beautiful. So's the entire Black Pack. So thank you for coming, and now hit it.
No one is black.
college lacrosse champion, radio DJ, today a show, Instagram a waxing his nose, Sir a lion singing so smooth, going live with the news. One thing that I know he likes, yeah, give this man a hot mic. Get your groove on right now. Watching Howie Mandel. Get your groove on right now. Watching Howie Mandel does stuff. The Jacqueline Jones.